Good evening, parents and families. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for AP College Night. And thank you for your flexibility as we move to a virtual platform. So again, thank you for being here this evening. So I do have a slide I'll share with you, and we'll do one quick introduction. We have Dr. Steve Maples from the University of Nevada, who's here with us this evening, and he will be sharing a little bit of information about the admission process to UNR, how AP might play a role in that, and just some ideas and some tips for what we can look forward to over the next few years as students are moving to their post-high school education. So I'm going to share my screen here and get to a PowerPoint. Oh, one last thing I wanted to say, please, if you have any questions this evening as we're going along, if you could please drop them in the chat. I will get all of those questions at the end of the meeting, and then I'll create kind of an FAQ document over the next couple of days that will go onto our website, along with a recording of this presentation and different handouts and videos that have been created by the different teachers that teach our AP classes. So please, any questions that you have, please put them in the chat, and we will get those back up onto the website with answers in the next few days. All right, so welcome to AP College Night. For those of you that don't know, AP does stand for Advanced Placement. These are courses that have been developed by College Board, which is one of the big companies that oversees some of the standardized testing for colleges. They also oversee the Advanced Placement program. In this presentation tonight, we will provide parents and students with information on how to best prepare for college. Review Galena's Advanced Placement program. We'll talk about the different courses that we offer here at Galena. We'll help students and parents make informed decisions when registering for AP classes. So tonight's agenda, you'll see it says we were in the theater. That's where we were supposed to be this evening, between our theater and our cafeteria, where you were going to be able to meet some teachers. So that format has changed just a little bit. We will have a speaker, the University Admissions Director, Dr. Stephen Maples from the University of Nevada, who will be sharing again about the admission process to the university. We were supposed to have some scholarship information as well. Ms. Silva Appelbach, who is the director of our Career and College Center, she is not able to be with us this evening. So her information will be going onto the website as well, all under one tab that you'll be able to access from the Galena website. Once we get all of that onto the website, we will send a quick email to you all to let you know that that has been uploaded to the website. We'll do a short overview of our program and the courses that we offer. And then again, we did have time to go into the cafeteria to meet with the AP teachers. But again, because we are virtual, like I said, we will have all of that information put onto the website by the end of the week so that you'll be able to access that if you have any questions. So we will begin with Dr. Stephen Maples. I'll turn it over to him. He will take the next chunk of time to share a little bit about the University of Nevada and the admissions.
Thank you, Marcus. And welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming out on Zoom tonight. To get information. I'll just get straight into it. I always get very excited because I don't get that many opportunities to be with both parents and students. I spend most of my time with just students. So I'll get right into it with a question that especially most people think is a pretty difficult question to sum up, but it's actually pretty easy for me. And that is, what can my child do in high school to best prepare themselves for college? And I'll point you all to something you should Google. It's called Answers in the Toolbox. If you just put Answers in the Toolbox in the search line, a study will come up from the Department of Education. And the Department of Education looked at 30,000 high school students that went on to college. And after 8 years, it looked at one thing and one thing only. Did they graduate from college? Not did they have a good first year or good second year, are they still in college? After 8 years, did they graduate from college or no? And then they took all that data and then went back to high school to find out what was the most important factor in determining whether or not a student graduated from college. And the number one factor coming out of high school was not high school GPA and was not ACT or SAT test score. The number one factor in determining whether or not a student graduated from college was the years of math that the student took in high school. Students that took the year of math past intermediate algebra were more than twice as likely to graduate from college. And conversely, students that stopped a year short of intermediate algebra were more than twice as likely to not graduate from college. And so the first thing that came out of that study is that sounds good and everything, but what about students? So a student that does well in calculus or something like that, obviously they're going to do well in college, but what about students that struggled? So there was a follow-up study done called Answers in the Toolbox Revisited. And what they did is they looked at students that, number one, they looked at students that struggled in those advanced math classes. How did they do in college? And the students who struggled in high school advanced math had the same correlation. The students that got C's and D's, not the A's and B's, but the C's and D's, had the same correlation for success and graduation from college as the students that had the A's and B's. It was taking those advanced classes, it was staying in those classes and the rigor that it was required of them that best prepared them for college. And so on a night like tonight that's supposed to be talking about college, I always like to start with that. And I strongly recommend you take a look at that study because a couple other things came out. So the first one was for students to definitely take 4 years of math in high school, 4 years of science. But then they looked at like the rigor of classes, and the rigor of classes is such an important predictor. And talking about an advanced placement night, that's one of the best places for me to start. Specifically, what I would mention about advanced placement classes is, again, I'll not look at the students that excel and get the fives and get all these college credits. There was a study that was actually done by students that took advanced placement classes and only got scores of 1 or 2, which doesn't usually give you college credit for those classes if you have that score at the end. But they looked at their success in college, and students that took the advanced placement classes and only scored 1 or 2, not getting the college credit, were still seen as better prepared for college than students that didn't take that. So as a director of admissions, more than talking about like what are the criteria to get into the university, I'm much more concerned and interested in what's going to get you out of our university with a degree. And the most important things you can do in high school are take the advanced math, and as much math as you can in high school, and as much science. Most of you will meet those criteria by the end of your 3rd year as far as what their criteria is to get into college. But taking that 4th year is so essential for that. So I strongly recommend taking the most rigorous curriculum. And one of the reasons why I say that is the next piece that's changed with the pandemic is that more than 50% of colleges and universities no longer require the ACT or SAT to get into the school. So what are they replacing those test scores with? They're replacing them with rigor of classes because they've seen that that is the most important factor in doing well in college. So taking advanced placement classes, taking honors classes, taking those more challenging classes are going to give you a significant lift in your ability to get into the schools. A lot of scholarships have taken out the ACT and SAT, including at the University of Nevada, Reno. We also have taken test scores completely out of not only for admission, but also for scholarship consideration as well. So what do we look at? We look at rigor of classes, AP, college classes that students have taken in high school, how well they've done in those classes. But we also look at leadership, community service, volunteer. Those have taken on a whole new meaning for not only our university, but the UC system in California and most other college, most other state universities and universities at different colleges. So strongly recommend that as you're starting to put your portfolio together, if you're able to take the ACT and SAT, we still recommend you do that so that you have the ability to apply to all the schools. But understand the focus is changing in higher education. And again, it's back to how students do in those classes. Rather than a 3-hour exam on a Saturday afternoon, how are students performing in the 4 years of high school has taken on an even greater meaning than ever before. And so what you do in high school does really matter to us at a university. And just one of the last things I'll leave you with before I have a couple of last minute tips is that I see a lot of students that work so hard, and many of you in the audience there, they will work really hard your first 3 years of high school, so much so to the point that you will have completed most of the criteria that you would need to get into a college or university. And when I run into parents and students that say, well, I want to enjoy my senior year, but I still want to go on to college. I always use the analogy of, let's say you were an athlete and you wanted to play college sports. Would you ever say to yourself after 3 years of a sport, would you ever say to yourself, you know what, it's my senior year of high school, I'm not going to play my sport my senior year, but I'm definitely going to play it in college? Would you ever say that? You would never say that, because you would look at your senior year as your last chance to put yourself on a competitive playing field or court or whatever, to be able to play at that next level. Well, most of you out there are probably going to play college sports, but you're all going to be competing in the classroom your freshman year of college with other people that were faced with that same decision of, I took 3 strong years of high school. Do I really need to take that 4th year? And that 4th year is so essential in preparing you for college and being the best person that you can inside the classroom and the most competitive, along with all those other people you're going to be competing with in the classroom. Just a couple of last minute things to be thinking about as you start to look at colleges. The first thing is, I know there's probably some freshmen out there and sophomores. The most important thing I can tell you is it's not too early to start looking at colleges. And that means reaching out to them, getting the information, and start contacting schools. I like to tell people that there's a lot more I can do for a sophomore or a junior, or especially a freshman, than I can a senior. But most of my time at the university is spent with seniors right now. Well, you either took the right classes as a senior now or you didn't. But as a sophomore or junior, you still have time to make adjustments to your schedule or find out the other things that you need to do. So I recommend reaching out to schools as early as possible. The other thing is, when it gets to your senior year and you're looking to apply for schools, don't look at the deadline to apply and say, circle that and say, that's when I should be applying. Your question should be to the schools, what's the earliest I can apply to the school? Because the earlier you apply, the earlier you can start planning for all the other things that you need to do in college. The last couple of things that I just want to mention are, number one, my one shameless plug would be, in this whole college search process, I do strongly recommend you look at coming up to the university on one of what we call our Nevada bound programs. And you can go to our website and type in the word Nevada bound, and it will show you all these dates this spring. They're on Fridays, Mondays, and Wednesdays, where students and families can come up and see what it would be like. You get to meet with all the colleges. You actually get to spend time with one of the colleges. But you actually get to see what it would be like to be on our college. But most importantly, you get a lot of good information that you can take when you're looking at different schools. Again, that's the Nevada Bound program. And the last thing I'd say, as far as that's concerned, is I strongly recommend that, because a lot of you don't realize that in your backyard is a Carnegie Research 1 university and Tier 1 university as well. But the last thing I'll say is that the most important thing about this whole process is you're not alone in this whole process. And I can say this, having worked very closely with Galena High School. The counselors there, Career Center, teachers, and certainly the administration are there for you as you try and transition to this next step. It might be your first son or daughter that's looking at college, but it's not their first time doing this. And so I really strongly recommend that you use the resources available to you at Galena that will help you in this whole process. They've been through this many times and they have a lot of those resources too. So in closing, I just want to say, I wish you all the best of luck in this whole process. If we can be of any service, all the counselors, the administration there have my email. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about this process. But the last thing I'll leave you with is finish strong. And that means finish strong all 4 years of high school, and challenge yourself to take those advanced placement classes and other classes that are going to challenge you and push you to be the best student that you can be. So thank you. And thank you again, Marcus, for the opportunity to speak with everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Maples, and thank you for being here this evening again. And I will give you a little plug here as well. I myself attended the Nevada Bound trip when I was a senior in high school. It was an amazing opportunity to come up and meet other kids who were interested in the university, who wanted to come and see what the campus was like. I had never been on a college campus before, so attending the Nevada bound trip was awesome. And I learned a lot. And once I got there, I knew that Nevada was a place that I wanted to be. So thank you so much for that.
You bet. Thank you.
I'm going to jump back into my slideshow here. So again, thank you to Dr. Stephen Maples from the University of Nevada. Oh, I did not click share. I apologize. There we go. Ms. Silva Appleback was supposed to be here with us this evening. She's not able to be here like I had mentioned, but she is our scholarship coordinator and our Career College Center facilitator here at Galena High School. She is an excellent resource. She brings in lots of different universities from across the country, either in person or virtual, to meet with students, give information to students. She has a scholarship board that is outside of the Career Center in our 400 hall near the theater, where she is constantly updating with new scholarships that are out there for students. Some of those scholarship students can start applying for as early as sophomores. So please encourage your students to go by and meet Miss Appleback. If they don't know her, check out that Career Center. And you can find her email on our website. She's an excellent resource. So please reach out to her if you have any questions about scholarships or careers or college or that process. She's an excellent resource, so please utilize her. And for those of you that don't know, I am Marcus Culpepper. I'm one of the assistant principals here, and I oversee curriculum as part of my duties, and I'll share a little bit about the advanced placement program for you. Again, in the comment section, or in the chat section, if you have any questions, please place them there. And after the meeting, I will get a transcript of those and I will be able to answer any questions that you have, and we'll get them back onto the website for you to get your answers. So at Galena, we offer a variety of AP courses, English courses, science courses, math courses. So here's a brief list that shows what we have. One change on here, actually, no, we do have human geography. I thought I had taken off that earlier, but I took off a different course. So we're excited that one new course we brought in this year was World History Modern, which is a course mostly for sophomores. But we added that course because with the new flex credit that has come out from the state, it does offer students a chance to take 4 years of social studies, which can be used for the new flex credit that's needed as a graduation requirement in the state of Nevada. We also, we did remove, like I had mentioned, the European history. That is not one that we still offer. But another one we were able to bring in this year, if you notice American governments on our list, but we were also able to start up a group called We the People, which is a twist on AP Gov, and there's a little bit of a competitive piece, and the class participates in competitions focused around the United States Constitution and different laws and cases that have been presented to the Supreme Court. I'm happy to say I got to help judge some of our kids back in the fall before they went to their big competition. And it's an excellent process to see, all at the same time getting that AP, the rigor of the AP course, but being able to participate in something a little bit more challenging definitely opens some opportunities for students. Well, before I move on to this next slide, I want to give one plug here for our dual credit options. We do now offer dual credit options through the University of Nevada. That list is constantly growing, where you can take a course at the college level and have it count for your high school credit as well as earning college credit. We have many through TMCC and many through WNCC as well. And another group that would have been here tonight is Tesla, who has created a manufacturing development program with TMCC. Lots of students across the district are taking advantage of that program and being able to come out of high school and step foot into a career that will lead them to endless possibilities. So again, they would have been here in person with us, but they were not able to join us here this evening. So I wanted to give them a little plug. So how do I know I'm a good candidate for an AP class? We have an open door policy. We encourage all students to challenge themselves by taking one or more AP courses. So anybody that walks through the doors of Galena High School can be a candidate for the class. We do look for students who want to challenge themselves and just try something different and try something that might push them in ways they haven't been pushed, or pull them in ways that they haven't been pulled before, so they can grow as a student, they can grow as a person, and ultimately grow as a member of our community. With our open door policy does come commitment. We do ask that students stay in the AP class, try hard, and follow through with courses. I will throw this out there. We see a lot of kids who 3 weeks in, they come into the office and they meet with their counselor and say, I can't be in this AP class, it's too hard. Our biggest thing is we encourage you to stay. We actually do have students and families sign a contract when they sign up for AP classes that says they will not be able to leave the course. And when I go back and I revisit with kids who had asked to leave the course and then didn't, 95% of them are happy that they stayed, that they pushed through, and that they did what they needed to do to be successful in the class, and not give up on something that they wanted to try earlier that year. And there will be a handout that gets posted on the website called "Are You a Candidate for Advanced Placement?" Of course, we do believe that all students are a candidate for advanced placement here at Galena High School. So what are some requirements to enroll? You must desire the challenge. At Galena High School, we do require you to take the exam in the spring. So each course offers the AP exam. The cost of that exam is $95, and occasionally there are class fees, especially for our chemistry class and some of the science classes where materials are purchased to run certain labs throughout the course. There is a time commitment. There may be extra studying or extra homework or extra reading that comes along with taking an AP course. So we do want to make sure students understand there is a time component there. And we ask that students complete the year-long course. So all AP courses are a one-year course. The tests usually happen in May. So you can imagine in that spring semester when the teachers are getting through the rest of the information that they have for their course, really cramming in as much as they can before that test and reviewing everything they did the previous semester. That students, they take that test, and then there's that time at the end where they get to kind of take a breath and realize that what they just did over the last 8 months and all the hard work that they put in to be successful. And lastly, pick up an informational packet from the AP teacher. When we get these on the website, we will have listed next to the course who the teacher is. And go by and visit that teacher, ask them questions about their classes, ask them what the class entails, what the workload might be, what the time commitment is for the class, so that you have an idea of what you might be signing up for. And what do we do next? So you want to talk to the AP teachers, ask questions. So ask the AP teacher, ask your counselor. Counselors are very knowledgeable about the AP courses and what they entail. Ask an administrator. I'm very happy. I'm out in the halls during our passings and at lunch. I'm out in the parking lot. Feel free to come up and ask me a question if you have a question. Feel free to find Mr. Salter, Mr. Bodine, and Ms. Burrows. We've all been in the role of curriculum, and we have kind of a well-rounded knowledge of what AP entails and what that looks like. Ask a friend or an older student who's taken the course. So our course registration will begin soon. So we do want to make sure that you have all the information that you need. Over the coming weeks, we will have the flyers up on the website, printed and put in the counseling office, so students will be able to swing by and pick those up if they do desire a hard copy, or parents you'd like one as well. But again, I'm shooting for Friday to have them up on the website. So you'll have the weekend to take a look at that information with your students. So thank you for joining us this evening. This was abbreviated in our normal. Had we been here at school, you would have had a chance to meet the actual teachers of the AP courses. So we, again, I know I've said this about 10 times, we will be getting that information up on the website this evening or by the end of the week, so you can peruse that. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime, reach out to any AP teacher, and ask any questions that you have. We're here to support you. We want to help you and your students make the best decisions for what their future goals are. Your counselors are here, Miss Applebach is here, and we're all here to support you. So again, thank you for coming out this evening. If you have any questions that did not get answered, please, we'll leave this up for a few more minutes. Please get them into the chat. I will get a transcript of that, and we will get a frequently asked questions document up on the website with our AP information. So again, thank you all. Thank you to Dr. Maples from the university. Thank you to Parent University through Washoe County School District for helping us get this up and running and allowing us to use your 1,000-person Zoom account. We appreciate that. And thank you to our translator who translated this to parents for us that needed that. And I apologize if I spoke too quickly for some of the things that you needed to say this evening. So again, thank you for coming out. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon.